What if I told you that one of Hollywood's most iconic love stories, one that looked unshakable for nearly 2 decades, was not as picture-perfect as it seemed? Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's marriage has just collapsed, and while the headlines scream shock and heartbreak, people close to them whisper something different to insiders. This ending was not sudden at all. It was inevitable. Think about it. For almost 20 years, they stood on red carpets hand in hand, shared sweet words in interviews, and built a family together. Nicole, the Academy Award-winning actress, and Keith, the country music star adored around the world. They had the kind of relationship people pointed to as proof that fairy tales could exist in Hollywood. But behind the cameras, cracks had already begun to spread. Insiders revealed that the two had actually been living separately for a while, long before the world even suspected. So when the official split was announced on September 29th, just 3 months after their 19th wedding anniversary, those closest to Keith Urban felt a sense of inevitability rather than surprise. Here's where it gets even more intriguing. Nicole Kidman, now 58, had quietly filed paperwork to become a resident of Portugal. On the surface, it looked like just another star buying a home abroad, but look closer, the form listed no other names. Not Keith's, not her daughter's, just hers. And yet, reports say Keith was planning to join her in this international move. It raises the question, was this a final attempt to start fresh together, or the first sign that Nicole was already stepping into a life on her own? Publicly, they did their best to hold the image. Their last outing together was in June at the FIFA Club World Cup in Nashville. Before that, they appeared backstage at a benefit concert in October 2024, smiling, standing close, playing the part, but if you know where to look, the performance did not quite match reality. Friends say Nicole has been leaning on her sister Antonia like never before, her anchor during this storm, and that detail matters because it tells us she was fighting to keep the marriage alive. She did not want this ending, not after everything they had built. Nicole has always spoken about how marriage is about nurturing the us, that bond two people create together that nobody else can touch. It's haunting now to hear those words, because they sound like someone trying desperately to remind herself that love is worth fighting for. Meanwhile, Keith's friends describe a man resigned to the inevitable, a man who perhaps saw the end long before the rest of us. And here's the emotional twist. It's not as if Keith stopped loving her. In April 2024, at the AFI Life Achievement Gala, he gave a moving speech as Nicole was honored. He called her heart and spirit extraordinary, admitting that meeting her felt like meeting a real-life princess. He even shared the story of nervously scribbling her phone number on a tiny piece of paper years ago, terrified to dial it. Those words, so tender and so raw, came less than a year before everything fell apart. It makes you wonder, how can something that feels so strong in one moment dissolve so quietly in the next? This is why their split feels so devastating. It is not built on scandal or betrayal. There's no explosive fight, no tabloid-worthy secret affair. Instead, it's the kind of heartbreak that feels almost universal, the slow unraveling of two people who loved deeply but simply drifted apart. And that's why this story hits so hard. It is not just Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban. It could be any couple, anywhere, who thought they had beaten the odds only to realize that time, distance, and unspoken struggles can erode even the strongest foundations. So here we are, nearly 20 years after the fairy tale began, watching it end not with fireworks, but with silence, distance, and resignation. Nicole moves forward with her family's support. Keith carries the weight of inevitability. And the rest of us are left asking, if even they could not make it, what does that mean for love itself? But here's the thing, we are not done. Because this separation opens doors to deeper questions about Hollywood marriages, the hidden pressures of fame, and the sacrifices stars make to keep their images intact. Was this just about personal drift? Or is there something larger Hollywood does not want you to see? That's exactly what we are diving into next on this channel, where the stories you think you know are never the full story. So if you want to see the drama unveiled, if you want the truth behind the polished smiles and the broken promises, make sure you do not miss what comes next. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, because the unraveling of Hollywood's most secret love stories is only just beginning. And trust me, what's ahead will change the way you see them forever.